Namaste. Welcome to our yin and restorative yoga practice. My name is Michelle Chua, and you'll want to have quite a few props for this. You'll see behind me a blanket, a bolster or pillow, two blocks, and a strap. Physically, we're going to continue this week's focus on releasing stagnancy along the spine and main energy centers throughout the spine through spinal twists and bringing the thighs into external rotation, which is sometimes called hip openers in yoga. So hips, spine, let's find a comfortable way to start. If it works for you, I invite you to grab a block or even two blocks stacked to sit on between your ankles, coming into Virasana, hero's pose, where you point the toes back. And if this does not feel appropriate for you and your body, as with any of the invitations I give, please make sure that you are listening to your body and either adjusting how you're practicing the pose or opt out, do something different. So thank you for being here. I want to highlight one of the 8 limbs of yoga. Within the second limb, called the niyamas, there is a practice called tapas. No, it's not the food, but tapas is a Sanskrit word that is commonly translated as fiery discipline. However, in the book Meditations from the Mat, there's another way to look at tapas. Tapas is the spirit of inquiry. It is about having the heart of an explorer. It is the willingness to work hard in practice, the desire to know oneself, the will to be honest. But all of these virtues are predicated on a genuine desire for spiritual health. This desire will give us consistency. We will have good days and bad days, days when the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, and days when the opposite is the case. Years of consistent practice are not built on rigid self-discipline. They are built on the desire to know more. I love this spin on what tapas means, because personally, I can relate to the power of curiosity to take us out of stagnancy, including emotions that can kind of paralyze us, such as fear, fear of the unknown, or fear of stepping outside of what you've always done, quote unquote. I've always done it this way, so I just keep doing it this way. And bringing us out of our comfort zone sometimes, like when we're practicing physical yoga, sometimes even in yin yoga, where we're deeply stretching and calming our nervous system in slower movements and still postures, things can come up because our body carries the memory of all our experiences. And we might encounter resistance. We might feel triggered or emotional release. Memories can come out when we're in certain poses. And so this curiosity or the spirit of inquiry can help us to continue the practice and not step back and be stagnant, not challenge ourselves to grow. Because remember, it's in those areas of discomfort sometimes where growth is happening. And so, how can you bring the spirit of inquiry, the attitude of curiosity, into your practice today? Let's take a moment to bring that into how we're observing our bodies. You might close your eyes and start to bring your awareness throughout the different parts of your physical body. Being curious about how your body's communicating to you right now through its different sensations. So that curiosity also serves to dissipate the need to judge, which is quite inhibiting on our perspective, judging things good, bad, right, wrong, but instead opening our perspective. gathering your physical state that you're working with, notice your energetic state by observing your breathing without controlling or changing the breath. Notice your mental and emotional state by just observing your mind and thoughts, what you're feeling energetically in your heart. Let's continue to explore now the breath by inhaling a little deeper and exhaling through the mouth, letting each new breath stretch the boundaries both in and out. You might let out a vocal sigh as you continue to deepen the breath. I invite you to name mentally a few things about your day so far that you appreciate. Empowering your lens even further through the attitude of gratitude. Begin to clarify to yourself what you're choosing to focus your attention and energy on expanding throughout this practice and afterwards. Whether it be a physical shift that you're creating in any area of your life, or a general feeling tone that you would like to experience and embody, such as groundedness, freedom, curiosity. Start to breathe in that feeling. Use your imagination and think of someone you might like to extend loving kindness to, dedicating today's practice to them. Together, let's join our voices in support of each other and ourselves, and connecting with our Mother Earth through her vibrational sound, Om, chanting it 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Om. Letting breath support you as you're regulating your nervous system. Let's begin a practice called Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. It also helps to focus the mind and calm the body while balancing your energy. So it's done by closing your lips, and as you breathe just through the nose, creating a soft whispering sound by gently constricting the back of your throat. As you listen to the sound of your breath, lengthen your inhalation as slowly as your exhalation, balancing the yang quality of the inhale with the yin quality of the exhale. while smoothly transitioning between the breaths. Establish a slow and steady rhythm that you can listen to as a way to anchor your mind in the present moment, so that these physical postures and movements we're about to do can also be a way of meditating. Resting your attention on the sound of your breath, let's come down onto all fours, tabletop. We'll start to warm up the spine in cat-cow. So spread your fingers flat at the front of your mat and stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. Step your knees a couple of inches behind your hips. As slowly as you inhale, glide your chest forward and coil it up into cow pose. As slowly as you exhale, contract your belly, dropping your head to round the back into cat pose. Again, inhale, draw your heart forward and roll your shoulders behind you and down. Exhale, lift your belly in, tucking your tailbone as you drop the head. And keep going several more times as slowly as you're breathing. Flexing and extending your spine. Rolling your shoulders forward and back. And tilting your pelvis forward and back. At the end of your next exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips back into downward facing dog, and spend the first few breaths moving any way your body needs to loosen up. For example, you might pedal your feet slowly in place to the pace of your breath to warm up the backs of your legs. You might add to that swiveling your hips side to side to stretch the sides of your torso, your outer hips. You might shake and nod your head to loosen your neck. Maybe stretch your jaw, opening the mouth wide, fluttering your lips. And listen to your breathing. Try to keep it as consistent and gently audible as possible. Knowing that you could always take a moment to rest, sitting down or in child's pose, if you need to adjust so that you're balancing your energy. All right, let's walk up to the front of your mat into a standing forward fold with the knees very bent so that the spine can unwind as easily as possible. Separate your feet at least hips width apart and parallel. And let's reach the hands behind your lower back, either holding a strap between the hands or clasping your hands while you stretch your arms further and further away from your lower back. You might sway your spine, shake and nod your head. And as you're stretching the arms further forward, lift your shoulders and drop your skull, creating space in the neck. Few more deep breaths here in Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Release your arms. Let your head, torso, and arms hang loose while you bend your knees even deeper. Press down to your feet and inhale to roll your spine slowly upright as though stacking one vertebra at a time. Lifting your head last, circle the shoulders behind you and down. Joining your palms in prayer at your heart center. Standing tall, root down firmly through the four corners of each foot, activating the muscles in your legs, and lift up to your chest and the back of your skull. Take a moment to remember your intention, bringing that into moving your body to your breath as we practice a slow version of sun salutation, C, to warm up our whole body, especially the lower body. So offering gratitude to the sun through Surya Namaskar C. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead, coiling your chest up, drop the shoulders back. As you exhale, you might bend the knees to bow over your legs more easily. Place your fingertips on the ground outside the feet. Inhale, step your left knee behind you into a kneeling lunge and look up. As you hold your breath, step back to plank pose with knees down or legs straight. Exhale as you lower your knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale as you slither forward, entering a gentle cobra pose, sliding the shoulders down the back. Exhale as you lift your hips into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb and lower your right knee, gazing up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Pressing down to your feet. Inhale, rise up, sweeping your arms overhead. Find a gentle back bend, lifting your chest. Exhale, gather your palms in prayer from your crown to your heart center. One more time, second side. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, lifting your chest. Exhale, bow forward, maybe bending your knees. Plant your fingertips on the earth. Inhale, step your right knee behind you. Kneeling lunge, look up. As you hold your breath, step to plank, knees down or legs straight. Exhale, lower the knees, then chest, then chin. Inhale, slide forward into cobra, rolling the shoulders back and down. Exhale, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and fold. Rooting down to your feet, inhale, rise. Rolling the shoulders back, look up. Then exhale, marry your palms at your heart center. Let's pause for 2 deep breaths. Notice how your body's responding. I'm going to face you here and mirror you as you set your feet apart. Hips distance or wider and parallel your feet. Let's come into a lateral extension of the spine or a side bend. So inhale your arms overhead. Hold your left wrist, draw the shoulders down, seal the front ribs in, and exhale, begin to side bend to your right. Pause as you breathe in and press your left foot deeper into the ground while lifting your spine from your pelvis. Exhale, see if you can side bend a little further in the same direction, keeping both of your frontal hip bones equally facing forward as you slide both of your shoulder blades down your back. 2 more breaths. Inhale to rise up, holding your right wrist, draw the shoulders down. Exhale, side bend to the left. Pause as you inhale, press the right foot deeper into the ground and lift your spine from your hips. Exhale as you continue to side bend in the same direction. Last 2 breaths. Inhale to rise up and exhale to release. All right, let's come down to sit to enter our first seated spinal twist. So as you're sitting with your legs in front of you, notice if it might be helpful to prop your pelvis on your folded blanket so you can adjust the thickness of it to prevent rounding the back. You want to lengthen the spine as upright as possible. Bend your right knee and step the foot in front of your right hip. Flex your left foot and place your right hand behind you. Raise the left arm and press down into the ground with your pelvis and your legs as you lift up to your spine. Breathe in. Keep your pelvis still and exhale, start to turn your chest to the right. Stay here, press down again to inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, continue to twist. Now lower your left arm, either to hold your right leg or to hook your elbow outside of that thigh. Keep relaxing the shoulders down. Lift up through your chest and the back of your skull, continuing to twist, or at least intending to twist further with each exhalation. Listen to the quality of your breathing. Continue to balance the length of in-breath with length of out-breath. One more deep breath. And exhale to unwind. Now, before we switch sides, let's come into what's called a hip opener, externally rotating the thighs. So take your right shin and cross it on top or in front of your left shin. So you're either sitting cross-legged in some easy version, or if your hips are willing, you're stacking your ankles and your knees while flexing both of your feet. This is called double pigeon pose. Press your two sitting bones down and inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Keep the shoulders relaxed, your throat open. And from the hips, exhale to hinge forward just a little bit, breath by breath. Pause as you breathe in to press downward to stretch the spine upward. Exhale, only continue to fold deeper if you can keep your shoulders relaxed and avoid rounding your back. Now you could also choose to stack a couple of blocks to catch your forehead, like this. One more deep breath. Pressing down to your pelvis, lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise up. Let's stretch the legs forward for a moment in stick pose. Relax your feet, or you could rotate your feet if that helps you to relax them, especially if you were just flexing your feet for a while. You might do the opposite and point your toes. Cleansing breath in. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue, lion's breath out. That's a helpful breathing technique if you need to release excess heat or dense energy or stagnancy, like when you're feeling anger, for example. All right, let's come into the seated twist. Step your left foot on the floor in front of your left hip. Place the left hand behind you. Flex your right foot. Press downward with your two sitting bones as you raise the right arm. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, keep the pelvis still and twist to the left. Pause as you breathe in, pressing down to lift up through the back of your skull. Exhale, continue to rotate your rib cage. Now let's lower the right arm to hold your left leg or hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Keep the shoulders softening down. Parallel your chin to the ground and glide your chin softly towards the back of your throat. lifting up through the back of your skull. Last 2 breaths here. Exhale to unwind, and let's cross the left shin either forward or on top of the right shin. Whether you choose to sit in cross-legged or double pigeon, the latter in which you're stacking your ankles and knees while flexing both feet. Press downward through your sitting bones and lengthen up through your spine as you breathe in. Keep the shoulders relaxed and exhale, hinge little by little from your hips, pausing with each inhale to press downward with your lower body and stretch the spine longer. You might place blocks in front of you to rest your forehead on. Remember to keep your throat open so that your breath can easily flow and energy can thus easily flow. And rooting down through your pelvis, lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise. Let's stretch the legs forward again in stick pose, whether you hold still or circle out your feet or point your toes. Maybe a couple of lion's breaths if you need that release. Deeply inhale through your nose. Any sound that feels releasing, open your eyes and mouth wide and stick out your tongue. One more time. Deep, deep breath in. Let it go. All right. Let's come down onto our backs, but before you do, slide your props as many of your props that you can towards the rear of your mat, just so you have more options so that you can reach for them easily. And then as you lie down on your back, draw your bent knees into your chest. And let's move out the thighs at your hip sockets. You might start by inhaling as you rotate the thighs apart and exhaling as you circle them back together. But feel free to explore different directions on your own, just feeling out the range of motion of each thigh bone at each hip socket and noticing the sensations throughout your hips, even your lower back, your inner thighs, outer thighs, hamstrings, quadriceps, all around that area. As you listen to the breath, let's keep going here. A few more breaths. You could even do it hands-free, and sometimes I like to keep the knees together and draw figure eights in the air with the knees, which can give a nice massage into the glutes. And let's continue with another gentle movement for the hips. Keep your knees bent and step your feet on the ground wider apart than hips distance. Separate your knees as wide apart as your feet. And let's windshield wiper the legs to the pace of your breath. So as you inhale, slowly drop both knees, let's say to the right. As you exhale, both knees to the left. Try to synchronize your movement to how slowly you're breathing. Keep going. Several more cycles of breath. So while one thigh is turning out or externally rotating, the opposite thigh is turning in or internally rotating. Notice the sensations with each part of the movement. What are you observing in your body right now? Bringing the attitude of curiosity into knowing your body a bit more and the habits that we carry in our bodies when we're not practicing yoga the rest of the days. All right, one more deep breath. Now let's set the feet hips width apart, parallel to each other on the floor. And from your right hip socket, externally rotate your right thigh, which means turn it out as you flex your right foot. So flexing your right foot entails curling the toes back towards the shin. And this helps to activate the muscles surrounding your right knee so that as you're turning out the right thigh, you're preventing twisting the knee sideways as much as possible. Cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Keep your left foot on the ground, shoulders on the ground, and press your right palm gently against the top inner side of your right thigh. So it's close to your pelvis, not your knee. And just notice what you're feeling as you do that. Is this thigh willing to splay open? Is it resistant? Without judging it, bring the attitude of inquiry with deep breaths. Ask your body if it wants you to stay in this version of this hip opener. Or if you're not feeling much happening, you could explore further by threading your right hand between your thighs, lifting your left foot, take hold of your left thigh or shin with two hands while you keep resting your head and shoulders down. Slowly bring your left leg towards you. Continue to splay your right thigh open while flexing your right foot. This is often called thread the needle. Now, if you're finding that your calf is pretty close to your chest, like within 3 inches or so, then you could come into supine single pigeon taking this further, but only if your calf is across your chest, right? If so, you can either hook your forearms underneath your right calf or cradle the sole of your right foot and your right knee within the crooks of your elbows like you're carrying a baby, and lower your left leg straight on the ground. Now, if you're doing this, this is because your right knee is able to splay open towards your right wall from the rotation of your right thigh at the hip. Make sure you're not twisting the knee sideways. Let's tune into at least 5 more slow breaths. From here, bending your left knee, wrap your right leg over your left leg as if entering eagle pose. Slide your pelvis to the right about 3 to 5 inches. Let's prepare for a supine twist. open your right arm wide on the ground, and you might look over your right shoulder to stretch your neck. Make sure the right shoulder stays on the ground as you lift your feet and slowly drop your knees to your left. Now you can catch your legs with any of your props, like your pillows, your blankets, your blocks if needed. If you want to deepen the stretch in your lower back as you're twisting, place your left hand on your right outer hip. And as you breathe out, press your right outer hip towards your feet. Listen to your breathing, keeping those calm, soothing waves, helping you to relax your mind into focusing. Slowly unravel onto your back. Let's pause for a couple of breaths in corpse pose. So unwind and stretch the legs forward, arms down by your sides, or hand to heart, hand to belly. And just observe, how is your body responding? Bending your knees, step your feet on the ground again, hips distance apart. As you flex your left foot this time, rotate your left thigh externally at the hip, crossing the left ankle over your right thigh. Keep your right foot on the ground, and with your left hand by your left hip, press away your inner left thigh, just gently splaying it open. Feel that your head and shoulders are relaxed down. You could always place a pillow under your head if you need one. And ask your body, does it want to stay in this version of opening the hips, or does it want to explore further? If further, thread your left hand between your thighs, and with two hands, hold your right thigh or shin, and gradually bring your right leg towards you as you keep your left calf crossing in front of you. So sometimes if the left hip is really tight, you'll find that the left knee is pointing towards your chest. But what we want is the left knee pointing towards the left wall. So only bring the leg as close to you as you can. Keep the left knee pointing towards the left wall. Again, making sure you're flexing your left foot. And if the knee is pointing towards the left wall and your left calf is within 3 inches in front of your chest, then you might come into supine single pigeon pose, in which you could hug the sole of your left foot and your left knee between the crooks of your elbows like you're carrying a baby, and slide your right leg straight on the ground. Where are you feeling this posture the most right now? Consider closing your eyes and imagining your breath enter that space. And now let's bend the right knee and wrap the left leg over the right leg like eagle pose. Preparing for a supine twist, slide your pelvis to the left, another 3 to 5 inches, and open your left arm wide on the ground. And you might gaze over your left shoulder to stretch your neck. Make sure the left shoulder stays on the ground as you lift your feet and slowly drop your knees towards your right side. Remember, you could catch your legs with any configuration of props. And if you need a deeper stretch in the lower back, place your right hand on your left outer hip. And as you breathe out, press your left outer hip forward towards your feet. And then start to roll onto your back. Once again, let's pause in corpse pose. So just let your body relax in stillness, couple of breaths, observing what's happening internally, including in your mind. Draw your bent knees into your chest. And let's rock a little in different directions, side to side, forward and back. Rocking all the way up to sit. Preparing for bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. Again, you could sit up on your folded blanket to allow your spine more length if it tends to round when you're sitting with the legs in front. Bend your knees apart and bring the soles of your feet together to touch. And experiment with keeping your feet together while sliding your heels really close to your groins and really far from your groins. And then decide where you want to place your feet as we remain in a forward fold. And you could also have your block or blocks or pillows and blocks set up. Like here, if I have my heels sort of midway between the two ends, I might have the block diagonally on my inner ankles. And then root down to your sitting bones, lengthen through the spine, breathe in, exhale. Think of extending your heart forward so the chest is slightly lifted as you bow from the hips, breath by breath. Let your arms relax, let your shoulders relax. And I'm gonna watch the clock this time for 3 minutes in this pose. We're gonna be here a little longer, more of a restorative posture. So see if you need to adjust how you're supporting your body so that you can just surrender into the pose and not feel like you're efforting to be in the pose. And keep listening to your breath. Start to press your hands into the floor. Begin to lift your chest as you inhale to slowly rise. And I invite you once again into Hero's Pose with or without a block or two in between your ankles to sit on. As we practice one more breathing technique before we rest in Shavasana. And again, if this posture does not feel appropriate for you, you might try something else, but you might find that this pose feels different after all those hip openers and twists. Some of you might even find it comfortable to sit directly on your calves or on the ground between your ankles. To protect your knees, just make sure that you're not turning out or turning in your feet. You can feel all of your toenails pressing flat into the ground in Hero's Pose. All right, sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders. I invite you into alternate nostril breathing or Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, which is a way to invite calm to the nervous system and help to awaken your connection to your intuitive energy. Helps to activate your Ajna chakra, intuitive energy center, often called third eye center. So it's done by resting your left hand on your lap, and you might place it in a mudra that supports connecting inward, and that's Gyan Mudra, where the palm is face up and the thumb and index fingers touch. The right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, where you stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. And as you close your lips, you're breathing sustain and gently through the nose, but we're not trying to create a sound like we do in Ujjayi breathing. It's very soft. We're going to close the right nostril with the right thumb like this, and close the left nostril with the right ring and pinky fingers like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles together and continue 3 cycles on your own before letting go of controlling the breath, and then observe how you feel after that. You might close the eyes and direct your inner gaze towards the center of your brain, which is Ajna chakra area, the pineal gland area. All right, prepare to start by emptying this breath. With right thumb, close right nostril, inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in for 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. 2, 1. Inhale left. 6. Hold 2. Close left. Exhale right. 6. Hold 2. Inhale right. 6. Hold 2. Close right. Exhale left. 6. Hold 2. Keep going. 3 more cycles. And without rushing, when you finish, breathe naturally. Observe the effects of that pranayama. As you continue to tune inward and breathe naturally, when you're ready, please lower your body gently to the ground so that you can lie down in a comfortable stillness for a few minutes of Shavasana, corpse pose. Closing your eyes, splaying out your limbs, and gifting yourself loving presence. Notice how your physical body is feeling right now. And listen to the way your body wants to begin moving to wake up. You might keep your eyes closed as you wiggle different parts, and ease into simple stretches. Gradually turning over onto your right side and resting your head. Pausing to observe your breathing as it informs you about your energy. Take your time lifting your body up. Please find a comfortable way to sit in which you can feel alert, relaxed, open, and grounded. Let's begin our 5 minutes sitting in meditation. You might place both hands in Gyan Mudra and maybe keep your eyes closed. I invite you to begin just feeling the expression that is on your face, bringing an attitude of curiosity and allowing your corners of your lips to slightly rise into a very subtle, gentle smile. Letting the smile invite an open mind to receiving anything that arises in the present moment. Continue to feel the rest of your head, just being in the aliveness of the sensations happening on your scalp, within your skull, down the back of your head, back of your neck. And as we talked about tapas being an attitude of inquiry and having the heart of an explorer, I invite you on your own to continue exploring through your mind's eye, very slowly, different parts of your body to just be in the sensations happening within each part. Along with physical sensations, you might notice energetic feelings through your felt sense, such as lightness in different parts of your body or heaviness, or waves of energy, such as pulsations in the hands. Notice how you're feeling now mentally and emotionally. And in what way can you bring an attitude of inquiry in the heart of an explorer as you seek to know more about your inner worlds, even your physical world of your body? Integrating the practice of tapas in your daily life. As we close this practice, I invite you to think of someone that you might recognize with gratitude who has in some ways supported or inspired you to show up to your spiritual practice or your physical practice, even on days when it might be challenging, even when your motivation feels low. Maybe they have directly supported you, or maybe through example, they have inspired you. Remember that the qualities we see in each other also exists within ourselves, giving us a reference point. Come back to the intention that you set, just reminding yourself of it. And remember to whom you dedicated this practice. As we close, like we started, chanting Om 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Ha. 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 And bowing head to heart to honor the light within. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.